Hi guys, I'm back today with a video on a brand that I have never tried before and I'm eagerly awaiting the opportunity to do so. The brand that I was speaking of is Midas Cosmetics. Held those real weird, but I used both of these palettes today, which may surprise you because I went very green, but I did use both. This palette is the Unveiled palette. There was another palette released at the same time with this one, and then this one is called the Artistry palette Volume 2, and these two together are pretty much like every green dream I've ever had. This one was $18 and this one was $16, and that is just a steal for both of these, I have got to say. They got here fairly quickly and in really good condition. So I'm going to show you guys the insides. This is the Unveiled palette, and this is kind of, okay, this gives me very much vibes of like the Huda Beauty, like medium toned like palettes she had. They were like 9-pan palettes. Actually gives me a lot of vibes of all of her palettes, to be honest. But it is very beautiful and I am really impressed with it. So in any case, that is what the inside of the Unveiled palette looks like. And then the Artistry palette Volume 2 looks like this. You guys know, you guys already know, if you watch this channel at all, I am obsessed with green shades. I could wear them every day and never get sick of them, and that would just make me happy as a clam. However, I initially did not buy this when it came out because I thought that these two greens were going to be way more similar than they actually are. Which is great because originally, when I saw the swatches of it, I was kind of like, you know, there's 6 shades in this. If 2 of them are so similar, do I need it? I kind of thought I needed it anyway, but that's besides the point. I am really happy that I did pick this up. I think it is gorgeous. The packaging is cardboard, but it seems to be pretty sturdy, so I don't have a problem with that at all. I know some people are really put off by cardboard packaging, but to me, I'm just like, you know, if it does the job, it protects the products, and it looks decent and is a good price, then I don't mind that at all. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch both of these for you guys, and then I'm going to do this eye look. If there's a second eye look, I will do it right after that, and then I will come back at the very end and give you my final thoughts on everything. Okay, so starting with the Artistry palette Volume 2, this is the shade Extra. And this is a really beautiful kind of khaki yellow green shade. Now I will say this, it picked up much easier on my finger and I was having a harder time swatching it, but it worked perfectly on the eye. This shade is called Martini. Wow. It's on my camera. That's on my camera. And this shade very much reminds me of that shade that was in the JSC Blood Money palette that I was really obsessed with and then tried to dupe, that had like a couple different dupes. This is like that green, right? What you're seeing is a very green, maybe a slight bit of blue and like a kind of yellow undertone shade. What I'm seeing is like a maroon and blue and purple and green, beautiful shifting shade. I wish I could get a better, when I turn it you guys can see some of that, but it's not as full as I'm seeing right now in person, but it is a gorgeous shade. Next shade is called Olivia, and this is a beautiful, slightly grayer tone than grass green shade. This is the shade Riches. And this is like an old gold that has a little bit of like rusty green undertone to it. It is so beautiful. This is the shade Investors. I'm sorry, if you can hear my husband in the background, he has no chill because he's gaming finally. And he deserves to have a really good night, so we're just going to ignore all the cuss words that are coming from back there. Okay, so this is like a true grass green, and it's weird because on the eye, I did feel like it was darker, and right now it looks like this one is darker, so it is very strange. They do look extremely similar swatched out, so it was no trick of the eye on their actual Instagram. That is how they swatch out, but I do feel like they perform differently on the eye. Last shade in the palette is called Luxuries. Well. This is a beautiful kind of pink undertone brown red shade. This shade in particular I would absolutely like to use with the other palette and create a second look. And this is the whole palette. This is the first shade in the Unveiled palette, and unfortunately it does not have a name. And this is like a beautiful rusty kind of rosy brown shade, but in the pan it definitely looks more orange, so it might just be the lighting. Even in the camera it looks slightly more orange, but it, you know, in person it's coming off more like dusty rose rusty. The second shade. And this is kind of a pink undertoned brown metallic shade. This is the third shade in the palette. And this is a really pretty purple undertoned brown shade with a slight bit of pink to it as well. This is the first shade in the second row. And this is a beautiful kind of nude pink shade. The second shadow from the second row. And this is like a beautiful kind of greenish, brownish, grayish shade. This is the third shade in the second row. And this is a beautiful kind of almost goldy brown shade. It is like a chocolatey golden brown. Gorgeous, gorgeous shade. The first shade of the third row. And this is a yellow tone tan shade. This is the second shade in the third row. This is another kind of pink undertone tan brown shade. Third shade in the third row, and it is just a very matte black. And this is the whole palette. okay, I have my eyeliner on, I have my mascara on, and I want to give you guys my final thoughts. That would be that these, for the price especially, are just bomb. I really like them. They performed well, they blended well, they covered well. I like the metallics. They're not like the most bold metallics, but at the same time, they're not the most dull metallics that I've seen either. And so for me, they're like a really nice happy medium. Like, so if you like glitz but not glam, these are your Goldilocks palettes. I'm just here to tell you. They are really nice. Shipping was really quick. I personally really enjoyed the shadows. I think that they're really good quality, and I cannot wait to use them more. And then another thing, since we are here and talking, I've got to say, I am like super obsessed with the Makeup Geek mascara. This is the Extension Effect mascara, and I actually did pair it with some of my normal ones today, and this is probably like the most legit that my eyelashes have been in like a real long time. Like, you guys probably can't even tell. That's the saddest thing ever. But I feel like this is like the best my eyelashes have looked in a hot minute. I am right now doing a really comprehensive foundation video, and I've been recording every foundation that I have. So every day it probably looks like my skin changes, and that's because I'm using some foundations that would be more suited for summer, and some that are more suited for winter, and some that are just not a good fit for me anymore, so I can give you guys a review on everything that I have. But when that is all done, I'm actually going to go back through and I'm going to do a comprehensive mascara one as well. So I'm going to go through and each day try a different mascara on its own and coat it up really good so you guys can see side by side and what my eyelashes look like at the very beginning, because boy, you will be shocked because I've got almost no eyelashes. And then some brands that I actually used to be obsessed with, I just don't like anymore. They don't work for my eyelashes. I don't know if they've changed formulations or what has happened, but boy, I've been very surprised, I've got to say. And I think you will be too. In any case, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I have to say, I really like Midas Cosmetics. I think they did a great job. I cannot wait to see what they come out with next. If this video was helpful to you, I hope you will leave a comment down below, like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell for future updates. I pulled my own hair. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was really piercing, but hey, how you doing? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.